Hey guys, Magnus here, bringing you another video. This one's going to be doing my top 5 worst episode tie-ins. So I promised I'd do this one for you guys. It's been a week since I did my top 5 best, so I think today we'll do the top 5 worst. Really excited for Halloween. It's looking good. I'm not too sure if that image I showed was fake or real, because some people said it's fake, but I think it doesn't look too. It doesn't look. It looks. I think it looks real enough, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, number 5, well, we're going to get straight into it to the number 5 worst. So, the number 5 worst, I've actually put the Duff Racer. And, well, this is the Moonshine River episode tie-in, and this came with the Duff Racer. And this actually, surprisingly, was the very first episode tie-in ever done. And the reason I've put it in is, honestly, it was a bit small, and it didn't add very much. And honestly, comparing it to the other ones, it kind of needed to be, it really should have been something more. This episode it had quite a lot of stuff into it, and it could have been made and something big. They could have added, the stadium, the Duff Stadium. They could have added a number, because the Duff Stadium wasn't in at this time. They could have added a number of things in, but they decided just to add the racer, which I think was a bit disappointing as a first episode tie-in. I was expecting them to do. They should have probably done something better. And all they kind of said is they had like one little sort of quest line. It wasn't really a quest line. It was just a bit of text for you, and then you got given it. So it was a bit of a disappointment, really. It wasn't very much, and that's the reason I put it as number 5. I mean, I could give it the benefit of the doubt because it was the first one. Well, I am giving it the benefit of the doubt because it's the first one. I mean, really, if I wasn't going to give it the benefit of the doubt for being the first ever episode tie-in, I may put it a little bit higher than that, but I'd say 5 because it was the first one. It was just a little taster. I'll let it off in a way. Anyway, number 4 is actually the Days of Future episode tie-in. Now, this is the one that came with Homer's grave, and then you had to basically do a task, and the more times you did the tasks, the more Homer's graves you got given. So you can get given like multiple graves, and then you also had the Cremo bot for 30 donuts. It was like a little robot you tap, and it was sort of, it's a cremation bot robot. It coincided with the friend prizes thing, but we're going to ignore the friend prizes. But the main thing it did come with was it returned with Mod's Ghost, which was cool. Return with Mod's Ghost, so you could buy the Mod's Ghost for 90 donuts, and then it also returned with the Gypsy Fortune Teller store, so you could buy that as well. But it really only came with the grave, Homer's grave, and it's a bit disappointing because they could have done more again. I mean, just comparing it to the other episode tie-ins, and that's all I'm really doing. There wasn't really much to this one. There was quite a lot of tasks, and the quests itself, the tasks itself, were very drawn out and repetitive, I felt. So it doesn't really deserve to be, I don't think it really deserves to be any higher, but it doesn't deserve to be off. It had to be included on this list. Anyway, moving on. Number 3 is actually Homeland. So Homeland was one where it was called Homeland. It was an episode tie-in, and they added the three-eyed sushi stand, and they also added a high glow waste barrel for 40 donuts. The stand was free, but you only got one of them for the squid. But I actually missed out on this, and I still to this day don't have either of the decorations. Fortunately, they were only decorations. I have every building and every character. I don't have every decorations. These 2 decorations are the only ones I don't have. It was because my internet wasn't working on that week, so I missed out on it. But yeah, so I actually don't have these, so I hope they return one day. But yeah, so there's these 2 items, and of course it wasn't very much, and maybe it's because I didn't get it, but it wasn't very much in terms of thing. You got 1 free thing after a couple of quest lines, 1 free stand. It doesn't really do much. It doesn't earn you any money. It's just a decoration, and then you got the high glow waste barrel. I don't see why they couldn't have made the stand into a building. They could have made it into a cash building. It would have been completely fine. I mean, there's been stuff like that before which have been buildings, so they should have made that into a building, a Squidport building, because it would have made it unique to the Squidport instead of it just being a decoration, and it could have pissed off Magnus a little bit more because he wouldn't have a building. There would be a building he doesn't have. As for the decoration, the high glow waste barrel decoration, it's not amazing either. It's like sort of mediocre, although it's okay. It's not amazing, and there's not really much to it. And it's a bit ugly. It's one of those hard to place things in your town, or at least I feel like it is. Anyway, moving on. Number 2 is the Treehouse of Horror. I'm not even gonna I don't even know what it's. The Treehouse of Horror Bob's Victorian House episode tie-in. It was the Treehouse of Horror XXVI. I don't even know what this meant. whatever. And you got Bob's Victorian house for 100 donuts. Now, first of all, I think that was way overpriced. We've already got a lot. We already had loads of Bob stuff anyway from the Terwilliger update, and the fact that they excuse me, the fact they didn't include the Victorian house in that was a bit weird, and they just sort of thrown it in because they kind of forgot about it. At least that's how I feel like what it was like. They sort of forgot about it, so they kind of throwed it on us. Bit weird. It was really random, to be honest with you. It didn't really coincide. I guess it kind of coincided with the thing, but it had been seen before, and it linked up to the actual episode it was in. And we also got the ancient pond for cash. I just think it wasn't very good. Why? I honestly don't really. I didn't really like it. You know, I didn't really like the pond. It was a bit. It's a bit plain, it's a bit bland. I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess, but we've got so many little ponds and stuff before. It's nothing special, if you know what I mean. And to be honest with you, the fact that it was more Terwilliger stuff, it was more Bob stuff, it was kind of a bit annoying in a way. So that's why I've kind of put it there, number 2. A bit overpriced, the building itself, and overall wasn't really overly joyed with it. But there is the number 1. So can we have that drum roll for number 1, please? So the number 1 thing is the Halloween of Horrors episode tie-in. Now this came with just the official Halloween HQ for cash. To be fair, it was cash. Now why is it number 1, you may ask? There was so much more they could have done with this. They could have done so much more with an episode tie-in in Halloween. The actual episode itself was a really good episode. There was plenty of buildings they could have added. And I know for a fact that they didn't add any of those buildings from that Halloween episode because they didn't want to use them for they didn't want to kind of use them for this event because they wanted them to have them in the next event. So they thrown in this official Halloween HQ. And how I feel that episode tie-in should be is episode tie-in should always add something new that's from the Simpsons. So say like Kamikyo, the recent episode tie-in we've got, it adds a brand new character, brand new buildings. That's what I think we should have. Granted, the Moe's Brewing Co. isn't a new building, fair enough, but it added it with new stuff. I feel like they should always add new stuff. That official Halloween HQ store is an old thing. It's been seen in recent seasons before it, was seen there, and I don't know. I think that they could have done way more with it. There was plenty of stuff they could have done, and also the fact that this didn't come with Dracula annoyed me because Dracula is, he could have come with the Republican HQ. They didn't add him. They could have come with this. They didn't add him. And so it kind of annoys me that they didn't add Dracula with a perfect building. And, overall, I mean, yes, it's cash, and yes, it's a building, and it earns money, and that's cool. The point I have, the reason I don't like this update is there was much more they could have done with it. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your top 5 episode tie-ins, worst episode tie-ins, or maybe even tell me the one that you hated the most. Again, it comes down to my personal preference, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you agreed with me for the most part. Bye bye.